This is KGW News at noon.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brenda Braxton. Well, tomorrow, Oregon starts a new set of COVID restrictions. They'll be different county by county, depending on how fast the virus is spreading. The governor's office released this assessment of each county's risk level. This is slightly different than the map from last week. 25 counties, including all of the Portland metro area, are in the extreme risk category. Those are in red on this map. Hood River and Morrow counties have been newly added to that list. If you go to KGW.com, you can get a closer look at the map and a list of all the restrictions at each risk level. The CDC has announced the first phase of distributing a COVID vaccine. Healthcare workers and residents at long-term care facilities will be the first groups to get the shot. Both Pfizer and Moderna are waiting for FDA authorization. It'll likely be months, though, before the general public receives a vaccine. Congress is getting closer to dealing with coronavirus relief. That's the money to help families and small businesses. Tracy Potts has the details on a possible deal.
President-elect Biden speaks to small businesses today. He's pushing Congress to act quickly on coronavirus relief.
As we battle the COVID-19 disease, we have to make sure that business and workers have the tools, resources, and guidance and the health and safety standards to be able to operate safely.
It's essential that we move with urgency.
Urgency is building on Capitol Hill.
Because the needs of people are desperate.
After weeks of delay, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin are talking again.
These small businesses can't wait 2 or 3 months.
Democrats and Republicans are pitching a $908 billion compromise.
This is not a $1.8 trillion stimulus bill. This is a relief measure. Half that amount.
Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he's focusing on what President Trump will support.
I think the way you make a law for sure is you've got a presidential signature.
The Federal Reserve Chair telling Congress businesses need more than loans.
What they need is fiscal policy, is a grant to get them through this last bit of the pandemic rather than borrowing more.
Complicating things, there's talk of attaching COVID relief to a funding bill due in just over a week. Plus, Attorney General William Barr, a close ally of President Trump, is saying to the Associated Press that the Justice Department found no evidence of widespread election fraud. And sources are telling NBC that President Trump may skip inauguration and instead hold a rally that day to announce his next presidential campaign. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown released her budget recommendations for the state. It includes more money for housing and rental assistance, but it also has cuts that healthcare officials are not happy with. The budget puts an extra $65 million into housing, and the governor says she'll ask the feds for $350 million in rent assistance. The proposed budget also includes $20 million to help homeowners and $250 million to develop affordable housing. The cuts include payments to hospitals. The Oregon Hospital Association is angry about that, especially now when healthcare providers are working overtime. The governor says she's open to compromise, but cuts are necessary.
Let me be very, very clear. This budget doesn't put enough money into our schools. It doesn't make the investments in public health we need. It's a budget built on sacrifice and hard choices.
The budget also asked the federal government for $685 million for COVID testing and the Oregon Health Plan. The legislature will debate the budget when they reconvene in January. A lot of times in our COVID reporting, we'll mention what doctors say and what health experts suggest. While most of those communities are on the same page, there are exceptions, including one Oregon doctor who's on the record saying he doesn't wear a mask even inside his clinic. So Kyla Boshi tried to track him down.
An Oregon doctor working at this family practice near Salem has refused to wear a mask while treating patients despite government orders to help limit the spread of COVID-19.
My name is Steve LaTulip. I am a practicing physician in Dallas, Oregon.
The doctor's controversial comments were captured on video during a Stop the Steal election rally in Salem on November 9th, then posted on YouTube by the Multnomah County Republican Party.
I hate to tell you this, it might scare you, but I and my staff, none of us once wore a mask in my clinic.
In the video, Dr. Stephen LaTulip admitted breaking COVID rules. In Oregon, an executive order says healthcare personnel are required to wear a face mask or face covering while in a healthcare office with limited exceptions. The Centers for Disease Control and Federation of State Medical Boards have similar guidance requiring masks to stop the spread of COVID-19 by helping prevent respiratory droplets from spreading.
I petition all of you, please take off the mask of shame. It is a mask that is just designed to control you and to shut you down.
Dr. LaTulip owns and operates Southview Medical Arts in Dallas. His name and contact information appear on the Salem Health website. When questions were raised, Salem Health distanced itself from the doctor, explaining, Dr. LaTulip is not employed by Salem Hospital, nor does he provide care at any Salem Health hospital or clinic location. They said his name is simply listed in a directory of local doctors.
I want to expose what I call coronamania.
The doctor's defiant speech came to light after another controversy involving a healthcare worker. An oncology nurse at Salem Health was put on administrative leave after she posted a TikTok video where she bragged about violating the state's pandemic restrictions. On Tuesday, the Oregon Health Authority reported 24 COVID-related deaths, the highest single-day total of the pandemic. We tried to reach Dr. LaTulip for comment. His wife said after speaking with his lawyer, he might, but only if we spoke face-to-face at his clinic. I agreed face-to-face was fine, but outside, socially distanced, and preferably wearing masks. She hung up, and we haven't heard back. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Turning now to weather. Boy, the day sure got off to a windy start. We went to Troutdale this morning where those gusts were really kicking up. And check out the view from the Vista House at Crown Point. That is gorgeous.